Greetings and salutations everyone, Crimson Nero here, and welcome back to Let's Play Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. In the last episode, we took a look at our power-ups and got every single one in the game. In this episode, we're going to be starting the last story. This is only unlockable once you have beaten both the Hero Side story and the Dark Side story. So, let's take a look.
What's going on? Why doesn't the cannon fire? What's happening?
So this is a direct continuation of the ending of Dark Side story, where we saw that warning screen pop up on the warning, yeah, just the overall warning on the screen, and now it's evolving into something much bigger than we anticipated.
What's that vibration?
Wait, someone is coming.
Hey Rouge, how's it going?
You haven't given up yet?
It's all over for us.
Explain.
What do you
I
mean?
just received a message from my boss. The space colony Ark is currently approaching the Earth at an incredible velocity. It probably will impact Earth.
Well then, that's pretty traumatic.
What's that on the screen?
This is a death sentence for every human being on Earth. If my calculations are correct, the space colony Ark will impact the Earth in 27 minutes and 53 seconds. All of you will be destroyed, along with your beloved planet Earth.
I plan to give you a taste of my revenge once all the 7 Chaos Emeralds are collected. Once I initiate this program, it cannot be disabled. All of you ungrateful humans who took everything away from me will feel my loss and despair.
Loss and despair?
Is there anything else you want to say?
No. Ready?
What's going
So,
on here?
apparently, Dr. Gerald Robotnik at that point was actually put to death by a firing squad.
Professor Gerald Robotnik,
So, yeah,
greatest scientist.
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle isn't messing around. This is actually pretty dark stuff, actually.
I knew you were behind all this. Stop it right now, or else...
I'd have done this a long time ago if I had the chance.
What do you mean?
You're pretty persistent for a hedgehog, aren't you? You're still alive. huh?
Just letting Knuckles pilot the shuttle on the way over here was more dangerous than you could ever be.
Oh, snap!
This is my grandfather's diary.
Gotta love that snarkiness from Sonic.
I don't quite know what happened or what went wrong. Was it a mistake to create the ultimate life form? I thought it would be something that would benefit mankind, but then the military guards landed on the colony that day. They were sent to destroy the research project that I had been working on. My colleagues at the research facility, my granddaughter, Maria, I hope you are all safe. The colony was completely shut down, probably to keep the prototype from falling into the wrong hands.
The Ark was shut down.
I do like all of the scrolling text that kind of warps the display of the screen. I always like stuff like that, where things warp your perception. I don't know why, but I do like it.
The Ark was shut down. She meant everything to me, and I couldn't bear the thought that she died because of my research. I lost everything. I had nothing more to live for. I went insane. All I could think about was to avenge her. Somehow, some way. I got scared as I no longer was able to control my thoughts. All I could think about was that I wanted it all to be.
Based on my original projections, I was able to complete my project, Shadow. I designed its mind.
So Shadow was actually the last thing that Gerald Robotnik actually was able to complete in his life.
Everything to him. If you wish, release and awaken it
If
to
you
the
wish to
world.
fill the world with destruction... Oh, so that's why you released Shadow from the base.
By the way, one thing to note is that the reason why Maria was here on the Ark was because she had a terminal illness that the doctor was actually trying to cure. Unfortunately, that never really happened. Maria was killed here on the Ark, and with her kind of last breath, she sent Shadow down to Earth.
The space colony arc position may have shifted due to the amount of energy given off by the emeralds. We have to stop the energy.
But how? That's it. There is a way to stop the energy. We have to use your emerald. You're the one that told me that the Master Emerald has the power to stop the Chaos Emerald.
I'm sorry, but why is the Master Emerald the size of a Chaos Emerald here?
Stop the Chaos Emerald.
The reaction of the Chaos
It's portable size.
towards the cannon's core. It may be too late.
There still may be some time left. If we pull together, we might be able to get to the shortcut that leads to the core.
Man, Tails is a pretty smart 8-year-old. I mean, he even color-coded that entire map.
No worries. Just leave it to me. I'm the world's fastest hedgehog.
Ben, let's get to work.
So, in comparison to Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2 definitely has the better final story, because instead of it just being a bunch of cutscenes and one boss battle like it was in SA1, in SA2 you have a multi-stage level which allows you to play as almost every single character. I say almost because you'll see that we're missing someone here, if you don't already know, but Shadow is nowhere to be seen. Where is he? Well, we'll find out that a little bit later. Well, we won't necessarily find out where he is right now, but trust me, we'll see Shadow a little bit later, so don't worry. But yeah, Cannon's Core is a 5-part level in which you play as Tails, Eggman, Rouge, Knuckles, and Sonic. I have to say, this definitely allows you to really see the best of all the characters, especially if you have all the different power-ups. Obviously, most of them are required, but it's still nice to be able to just dispatch enemies and make your way through without any major trouble. But yeah, your main focus is to use these little time switches to stop time and make your way over to the exits for each individual character. Not only do the time switches deactivate the Ark's defense system, such as getting rid of all of the different laser fences and stuff, but it also stops the overall time in the area. Enemies don't move, and even the clock on the upper left-hand side of the screen stops completely. If you want to speedrun this level, then that is like your major way of doing it, is by using the time-stopping gimmick. Which I think is actually a pretty cool gimmick. I always have loved the idea of manipulation of time. I know that time travel and stuff is like a really complicated story element, but obviously, they're not using it in this game. It's only just a small gimmick for this stage. But I do really like the manipulation of time rather than the manipulation of space. I understand that space-time is its own thing, but like when it comes down to it, even in like Pokemon, I much prefer Dialga, the Pokemon on the time Pokemon, rather than Palkia, the space Pokemon. But yeah, that's just me. Sorry I got off track a little bit there, but yeah, Cannon's Core, pretty awesome stage actually, especially because the mood is very tense. You see exactly what's going on, and a lot of stuff's happening. Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of closure here in this final story, so get ready for mind-blowing things to happen. Nope, not gonna get into that room. It's mainly just extra stuff. You don't even really need to get in there. And getting some like Mission Impossible stuff here. And of course, Artificial Chaos like to be jerks to me, like always. Alright, let's just stop time again, so hopefully I can get onto a platform. This was a bad idea. No! Ah! Meh. Come on, don't die, don't die, don't die! Here we go. I'm good. I'm good. That was kind of close there at the end. Alright, Rouge's part. Probably the easiest, actually, of all the characters. All you have to do is actually just hit the switch that is located in the center of this room. However, the switch is being guarded by some sort of mechanism that you need to disable. And the way to do that is to actually make your way through these kind of watery passageways, so that we can actually get to the switch that deactivates the Ark's defenses. Ow. So the switch is right up here.
Good job. Hurry. Throw the switch and drain the liquid.
Alright. Now we just need to make it back to that central room and we should be good to go. And of course I stopped the block right in a location that I can't use to actually get out of here. Happy day. Ow. Nope. Let's try this again. Alright, groovy. Moving on. Wait, Eggman, I thought you said that we were supposed to drain the liquid, not make more come up. Alright, now we play as Knuckles. We're gonna have to come back up to this room anyway, so I might as well get rid of that Artificial Chaos. Alright. Ow. We could use some rings here. Like those. Ah, darn it. I came to the wrong place. I accidentally went down to Rouge's area, not Knuckles' place. Ah. Oh well. Ah, so this is the reason why I got the air necklace for Knuckles back in Aquatic Mine, is because of this stage here. I have never seen anyone do this stage without the air necklace. I could probably just do an easy Google or YouTube search, but still. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to get up to this area right here to flip the switch to the area we actually need to go to, but all we needed to do was actually just stop time, which I forgot to do up at the tallest pillar in the central room rather than having to go all the way and waste time. I apologize about that. Alright. Well, luckily we have a little backup plan, because originally we were supposed to drain liquid, but now we kind of are in a water or liquid-filled environment, but at least we have a backup plan. Alright, so this area right here, if you do not make it to the ends of the hallways, or at least up to specific points in the hallways before the time runs out, then you will get pushed back because of the current of the waterways. It's especially apparent in this hallway right here. If you don't actually make it to the areas behind the cages, then you will actually get pushed back, like I kind of did for a brief second there. But we're good, and as soon as I hit this switch, we'll move on to Sonic's part.
Primary security lock system terminated. Final defenses.
And now we're on to the blue blur. Alright, this way is locked, so I have to go over here and dispatch the enemies. Come on, man. Alright, just gotta get rid of this. Up. Amocho, no! Yeah, like Amocho just said, the area underneath that artificial chaos that we just defeated, that is a bottomless pit. The only way to actually be able to unlock the door and defeat the, to defeat the artificial chaos in order to unlock the door, you actually need to homing attack back onto the original platform you were on so that you actually can land on solid ground rather than dropping down immediately into the abyss. And now we have ourselves a little bit of a throwback. Remember Lost World from Sonic Adventure 1? Exact same thing. But we've made it to the end of the level here, and we are moving on to the next part of the last story. Getting close to the end here, people.
Yes!
Time to go stop those Chaos Emeralds.
Barely made it.
Well, darn. Oh well, I wasn't expecting an A rank or anything on that last level. I mean, Ken's core is kind of complicated, so yeah. Anyways, moving on.
I hate it when they leave me behind. Look, it's Shadow.
Oh, hey Shadow, how's it going, man?
I really gotta stop whining. Everyone's trying their best to help out, and so must I.
Yeah. That's a good way of looking at it, Amy.
Shadow, we need you. Please help us.
It's all going according to plan. There's no reason for me to help them. Besides, there's no way to save anyone.
There has to be. I know that people fight over the most trivial things. Some people may be selfish, like the professor said. But they're basically good if they try their best and never give up on their wishes.
Wishes.
They always have a reason to be
Wishes
happy. That's
are
why you
eternal.
should help them out. Saving them is a good thing. Shadow, I beg you, please do it for them. Give them a chance.
Shadow, I beg of you, please, do it for me.
Maria!
For all people who live on that planet, give them a chance to be happy. Let them live for their dreams. Shadow, I know you can do it. That's the reason why you were brought into this world. Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
I promised her, and I must keep that promise. That's what Maria wished for. I've got to go now. I have to keep my promise to Maria and you.
Yeah, Shadow. So, before, Shadow was filled with rage and hatred towards humans. And because of that, he had a warped envisionment of his promise to Maria. However, he with Amy's help, he realized exactly what the real promise was. he's going off now to fulfill his and Maria's wishes, and that right there shows a lot of character growth for Shadow, and I'm really happy about that. Especially also that small little detail of the little tear that ran down his cheek. I thought that is just a little beautiful touch. That's great.
Humans who took everything away from me will feel my loss and despair. All of you grateful humans who took everything away from me will feel
Whoa. Hey, dude. Jeez, it's like Jurassic Park up in here. Everyone run!
Could this be the prototype of the ultimate life form that was supposed to be encapsulated?
Leave this one to me.
Shadow, what are you doing?
Fulfilling my promise, darn it.
I'll take care of this while you run to get the Chaos Emeralds.
Alright. Here we go. Kinda nervous here. This is actually the hardest boss in the game. The Bio-Lizard, the prototype of the ultimate life form. And very fitting that the prototype is being fought by the ultimate life form. Alright, so the Bio-Lizard takes 6 hits to defeat, but every 2 times you hit him, his patterns change. Right there, we actually just had to grind up on the piping that goes from on the sides of his mouth up to his life support system on his back. But soon enough, that's not going to be a viable option for us. The attack here that he's doing right now has only 2 different variants of it. It has the dark matter balls that go across the floor and you have to jump over, and then there are the ones that slowly hover above the ground. Those ones you have to somersault underneath. But just like before, we had to just grind up to the life support system on his back. But like I said, things are gonna change pretty soon here. You want to always make sure that you have a good amount of rings on you. Also, there is liquid that is being, well, the Bio-Lizard is currently standing inside some of the liquid that Knuckles himself was swimming in. And you want to make sure that you don't step in that liquid, because on one side of the platforms, there is a break in the platform where you can actually fall into the water, and if you do, it's that one right there, it's that side. If you fall into it, the current will actually carry you off and you will immediately lose a life. If you fall into the side that's closest to the Shrine of the Chaos Emeralds, then you won't, and then you'll have a slight chance to actually be able to get yourself back onto the platform. But make sure that that you always are jumping over those breaks in the platform. The best way to get over them is by using a homing attack to accelerate past. So now we're changing things up. Instead of having to grind onto the railings to get to the life support system, we have to bounce on these balls here. You want to use a homing attack to get from one level of bubbles to the next one. Keep in mind though, bubbles will be coming at you, so you have to make sure that that you do it really quickly and with a lot of precision. I know that the homing attack isn't necessarily the most precise thing, but in this game, at least it's good enough that it will actually not it won't harm you most of the time. So the theme going on right now in the background is called Supporting Me. The lyrics are actually pretty haunting, and when I was a kid trying to beat this guy, there's a little story behind it. First off, I was hanging out with a friend of mine, an old friend of mine, and it was in middle school, and I was trying to beat this boss, and I couldn't beat him during my first time because I was like, this is really hard. The boss theme is really haunting, and whatnot. And I was like, oh geez, This is pretty spooky and really hard. But then I went over to this friend's house. He was at the exact same point in the story as I was. I beat the BioLizard for him, then went home that night, beat it myself, and then beat this game like a pro. So I felt a lot of pride in that moment because I beat it twice. I beat the BioLizard twice with very minimal experience with it. But every time I do fight the BioLizard, I do get very nervous, as you can probably tell in my voice. But now we can calm down a little bit, kind of like the Chaos Emeralds here.
Unifies the chaos. Only you can do this. Stop the Chaos Emeralds.
Well, somebody doesn't seem happy.
Is it gone?
Is that what chaos control is?
Since we've stopped the Chaos Emeralds, why is the space colony still on a crash course to Earth?
Still alive. He's controlling the space colony as it's falling to Earth. He's the one with the space colony as is determined to keep it on its collision course.
Sonic?
Knuckles is like, so what exactly is going to go on here? But we already know what's going to happen. It's time for a super transformation. But not just Sonic, but with Shadow too. Let's rock. Alright, the final hazard. This is the final boss of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. And we get to play as both Shadow and Sonic. So, controls are pretty simple. All you have to do is avoid every single attack that the final hazard will throw at you. And make sure that you hit the red swelling areas on the BioLizard. Press A to accelerate upwards, and press B to accelerate downwards. But for some reason, these boils do not want me to hit them. You have to actually do a dash like immediately right near them to actually be able to hit them correctly without being bounced back. Every time that you switch between the two hedgehogs, your ring amount will kind of increase, and it's a good way to make sure that you don't lose in this fight. There are two ways that you can lose in this. First off, you run out of rings with either hedgehog. You can switch between Shadow and Sonic by flying either over or under the boss and making sure that you reach over to the other half of the playing field where the other hedgehog is. Also, you switch between hedgehogs every time that you hit the final hazard. I love that line so much. The other way that you can lose is by exceeding the 5-minute time limit. The 5-minute time limit. Yep. And because it's the final boss fight, it's obviously going to get harder the more damage you do. He takes 6 hits to defeat, and obviously he's going to start out with a few little meteorites, maybe 1 laser, but then soon enough he's going to be doing 2 lasers and more meteorites. And then when you get him down to 2 hits to go and 1 hit to go, he'll then do an entire grid system of meteorites and lasers. Still love that line every single time. And by the way, we are rocking out to the main theme of the game, Live and Learn by Crush 40. And we are victorious! Game over!
I must destroy all the evil the Professor has created.
The little pose here at the end is actually determined by exactly who does the final hit. But I think it's pretty good that Shadow gets the final hit. He's proven that he is superior.
Shadow, I beg of you.
Maria.
Give them a chance to be happy.
Now, Shadow! Chaos control!
Maria, this is what you wanted, right? This is my promise I made to you.
And with that, the day is saved. Space Colony Ark has stopped its collision course with Earth, and the world is at peace again. However, Shadow gave up himself for it. Well, at least he was supposed to, but fans liked him so much that Yuji Naka and the rest of Sonic Team and Sega decided, hey, let's bring him back. But at this time, this was when we thought Shadow was gone.
Shadow?
But don't worry, guys. Shadow's still alive, and he's gonna be in later games, so don't worry. If you really liked Shadow, like I do, then you're kind of pleased by this. But at the same time, it was kind of nice to actually see a character rise, and then to rise from where he was, and then to fall as a hero. He kind of did like the exact opposite of that famous line that the Joker says in The Dark Knight. Either you die as a hero, or you live long enough to be the villain. Well, Shadow kind of did the exact opposite. He lived as a villain, but then died as a hero, or quote-unquote, died. By the way, that little golden ring that Sonic gave to Rouge, that was an inhibitor ring. Shadow has either 2 or 4 inhibitor rings on his body. I don't know if he takes off the ones on his legs, but he does have 2 on his wrists.
So what's next for you, Rouge?
It's a gimmick to make it so that they inhibit his power and either block it off so that he doesn't overexert himself, or that when he takes them off, he's going all out. That plot point hasn't really been used in any Sonic games besides this game and Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, which we will get to eventually. But it's mainly used in the Sonic X anime as well as the Sonic comics. But yeah, it's kind of a small thing, but just to clarify a few things there.
To the planet as cool and blue as me.
I do like all this little dialogue between all the characters here at the end of the story.
Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
But yeah, that's it. That is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I hope you really enjoyed this Let's Play as much as I did, because this is definitely one of my favorite games. I have put so many hours into this over the years. I loved this game when I was a child. I still really enjoy this game now. Some people might say, oh, that's just nostalgia, just kind of blinding your vision. Well, I'm like, yeah, I know this game has problems. I mean, every game is flawed in some way. But this game, for me, is really darn special. And I love playing through it every single chance I get. Whether it's just to sit down and play a few stages, or even to do an entire playthrough. It's really fun. Overall thoughts? Yeah, I know a lot of people say like, oh well, you mainly only really like playing as Shadow and Sonic because they have the most well-designed gameplay and levels. Well, yeah, but that's only a third of the game. I like all of the game. The shooting levels are fun. I know that some people say like, oh yeah, they get boring after a while or pretty quickly. For me, like, it's an interesting take. It's like a step up from Gamma's gameplay in Sonic Adventure 1, and I like that. I liked playing as Gamma, and I like playing as Tails and Eggman in this game. I like the emerald collecting, although I can kind of stand with people on the argument that they should have just kept the original the original radar system. Yeah, it could have been better, but overall, it's still really fun to do, as well as the levels. I know they're a little big sometimes, but at least they have nice aesthetics, and that's what I really kind of go for. I like really good level design, but I also like good aesthetics as well, and when they really collaborate together, that's the real special meat to a game. Playing as Sonic and Shadow, obviously, it's fantastic. It's high-speed action. It's some of the best that 3D Sonic games have to offer, and it's a lot of fun. And Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is just definitely a fantastic game that anyone should really check out sometime. But yeah, with all that, we are all finished. A new day brings new adventure. But for now, rest easy, heroes. And we end off with a nice picture of Shadow as a little memory of him. But with all that said, that's it for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I hope you really enjoyed this Let's Play, and I hope you're really looking forward to the next Let's Play, whatever it may be. But I believe it's time that I say farewell. So, I'm Crimson Nero. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, everyone, fare thee well.